Welcome back to the Women Veteran Entrepreneurs Program. I know everybody's not a veteran. We also work with individuals who are looking to do federal government contracting, or I should say state and local contracting as well. My name is Omar Muhammad, helping you improve and progress in business and in life. So this show is brought to you by Truist Bank. They've been supporting us for this effort over the last couple of years. We have a number of resources for veteran-owned businesses, as well as women of color who are looking to do government finance, government contracting. So if you just go to www.edacmorgan.com, that's edacmorgan.com, you'll see a host of resources that we have available for you, the entrepreneur. We have, of course, this wonderful podcast that we have here. We have an entrepreneurship bootcamp. We do a webinar. We have access to one-on-one resources. And we have our annual event that's coming up on April the 27th. So more information can be found at edacmorgan.com. We also are on Instagram at WAVE, that's WVE podcast, all one word. That's where you can find out more information about the resources that we have available. So today we have, as always, I call everybody a special guest. So we have three special guests here to talk about, what are we talking about? There we go, building capacity for customer acquisition. That's what we're talking about today. And we're going to kick it off with man, we've known each other for a number of years. We only about 22, but we've known each other for a number of years. No other than Michael K. Jackson, and he's with, I said the United States Department of Commerce, but you'll tell everybody who you're with within the United States Department of Commerce. We also have Summer Bazemore. She's with Ey3 Technologies. Hey, Summer, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, good deal. And last but not least, we have Tatianna Blackett, and she has a company called Lily B. And Tatianna, I understand that you are a vet?
Yes, I am.
Army vet, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for your service. All right.
I
So
appreciate your support.
say it again. I missed that.
I said I appreciate your support.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So you all know the drill. I mean, the audience knows the drill. I'm gonna disappear and I'm gonna turn it over to Michael. You first, and then you all have a conversation about building capacity, building capacity for customer acquisition. And I'll see you all on the other side.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. And Omar, I want to say thank you once again. Like you mentioned, we go way back. So it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you all, the guests and the listening audience, or watching audience in this case. So as Omar mentioned, I am Michael K. Jackson. Yes, I am a part of I'm an international trade specialist within the Department of Commerce. So specifically at the International Trade Administration, and within the International Trade Administration, I'm a part of the U.S. Commercial Service. So the U.S. Commercial Service, for those of you who might not be familiar with us, we're the export promotion arm of the Department of Commerce. So we help you export your products and services in an international market. So today we're talking about building capacity for customer acquisition. So we specialize in actually assisting you in building the capacity for international customer acquisition. We're all about helping you go global and grow global. So within the U.S. Commercial Service, we have a particular cadre of veterans, and I am proud to say I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran, but we have a cadre of veterans that actually specialize in assisting veteran-owned companies, educating them about how to do business globally and how to acquire, since we're talking about customer acquisition, acquire new clients overseas. So let me take a step back and say that the U.S. Commercial Service, the way we're structured is we are located in U.S. domestically, we're located in what's called UZX, or U.S. Export Assistance Center. I actually happen to be here in the Baltimore office, but we have offices throughout the country. In fact, we have over 100 offices throughout the country. And then we have counterparts that are located in embassies and consulates in around 80 countries or so. And we're all dedicated to providing you the support to make connections in global markets, find new partners, find new buyers, assist you in attending trade missions and trade shows, whether they are domestic or international. And for those of you who might not be doing business internationally, I just want to just put a quick bug in your ear that 95% of the world's consumers are actually outside the United States. So if you are not doing business internationally or even thinking about it, you absolutely should, because we're talking about customer acquisition again. So if you want to acquire more customers, more clients, more business, then you are doing yourself a disservice if you're not at least looking at doing business internationally. And the U.S. Commercial Service can assist you in that. Another stat for you real quick is that over 70% of the world's purchasing power is outside the United States as well. So again, if you're not doing business globally, you're leaving the almost, all the pie on the table, if you will. And we want you to grow your business, acquire more clients, so that you can be more profitable and the United States can be more profitable as well. So in terms of how we assist clients, there are a number of different services. I know we have other guests, so I don't want to take up the entire time today. So I'll go through them quickly. Our assistance comes in a number of different buckets. One is export counseling. So we would sit with you and actually counsel you based on your product or service. We can talk about, we assist you with export regulations, understanding how to do business globally in terms of the documentation requirements, how business is done in particular countries, and so forth. Market intelligence. So we can provide background checks for you on specific companies that you might be interested in doing business with internationally. Commercial diplomacy. If you're doing business globally and you need advocacy in terms of if you're bidding on a foreign government contract, or if you just need assistance in overcoming some trade barriers, we can assist in that area as well. We also sponsor trade events throughout the year. There are a ton of, practically every single day of the year, there are trade events happening, whether they are domestically or internationally. And oftentimes the commercial service is actually partnered with the event organizers to bring foreign delegations from overseas here, if it's a domestic show, or internationally, if it's overseas, to actually put you in the room with potential buyers, partners, distributors, if it's a product, for example. One quick note I want to mention on a trade mission that's coming up this summer. There's a huge focus on Africa right now. And we have an Africa trade mission coming up in August that will be centered around South Africa, Nigeria, and Ghana. Three of the fastest growing countries on the continent. So feel free to reach out to me if you need additional information on that as well. I will put a pin in it right there and turn it over to my guests. And I'm happy to come back and banter with my other guests. But for now, I'll turn it over. And I think, I'm not sure who's up next. Is it Tatianna?
Anyone?
I don't hear her.
Anybody?
Okay. Sure. Thank you so much for that, Michael. That was definitely a lot. I was trying to take a few notes, but I definitely want to connect with you after this show. But hi, everyone. My name is Summer Bazemore. I am the CEO of Ey3 Technologies. We are a system engineering and cybersecurity firm. We're headquartered proudly in Prince George's County, Maryland. And we've also recently gotten into workforce development through a partnership with the local government, Employ Prince George's County. So we're focusing on developing right around where we live and where we work, where we are headquartered. I have been in the business, or i3 has been in the business since 2019. That's when we started with the Hutch program through Fearless Tech. It's an incubator program that helps to build companies, small businesses, and help them to avoid pitfalls and give them the foundation to having a successful business. So started in that in 2019. Prior to that, for about 5 years, I was actually a 1099 independent contractor for the government. I am a woman entrepreneur. I am not a vet. And I'm currently a subcontractor with the government, and also, of course, looking to expand. And based on what Michael said, I need to be not only focused here in the US, but internationally. So I would love to tap into that as well. But that's it for now.
Yeah, I'm Lily Black. I'm the president of the company, but I also work for Department of Maryland government. So I do have two sides where my department has resources for businesses, but me, I'm just a clothing brand owner, and I make the clothes, and I also manufacture clothes as well. But I also connect with businesses and do productions because I make custom clothing. Mine's is kind of short. That's why I was kind of glad that both of y'all went first.
You want to tell us a little bit more about either your custom clothing or what you do for the state of Maryland?
I don't know what else to say about it. I'm just a very, I'm gonna say this not to be, arrogant or nothing. I'm just saying it because I feel like I'm very good at what I do as far as making great clothing, but that's all I can say for right now. You will have to see my work to know.
Well, certainly tell the people where they can find your work. Have a website.
My website is currently under construction, but I will give it to you so you can retell it on your show.
Omar, I hope you're taking note, brother.
Absolutely. So I just want to jump in here real quick, Mike. I don't normally jump in, but I'm gonna jump in so that you all can continue the conversation. The conversation is good. It's all about, how do you grow beyond, where you are now, meaning your backyard. Most solo entrepreneurs, and let me just come on camera. Most solo entrepreneurs are all about, in their backyard, so if they're in Baltimore, if they're in Prince George's County, if they're in DC, Texas, or what have you, it's all about, finding customers just right there. And Mike, you talked about, was it 90% of customers?
95% of the world's consumers are actually outside the United States.
Wow. So, yeah. So for those individuals who are tuned into this right now, if you hear that 95%, I mean, I got some entrepreneurial ventures. I'm doing something that's not, let me put it this way. I need to hop on the trend and get those customers that are outside of my backyard. And so what strategies, Mike, does your company share with individuals to help them do just that? Think about exporting and importing and really global entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. So I mentioned early on that, I'm a part of a cadre within the U.S. Commercial Service that is called the VETSCO Global Team. And there are educational events specifically for veteran-owned businesses that are happening throughout the year, but beyond, veteran-owned businesses, because I know some folks that are listening are not veterans. And there are a plethora of training webinars. I would advise folks to just start at trade.gov, which is our website. There is a section on there that you can avail yourself of training webinars, built-in training into the website. You can do a ton of market research on your own, just to, especially if you're getting started too, just to kind of get a feel for, what markets might be good for your products or services. There's something called the Country Commercial Guides, and it's a report that's put that's put together by the ITA on over 100 markets around the globe, and it breaks down kind of the business environment, the political environment in particular countries, what industries might be a good fit, and so forth. So that's an early step that folks can take to find out about global markets as well. I have to mention that we don't work in a silo here at the U.S. Commercial Service. So just here in Baltimore and Maryland alone, we work with a number of different resource partners, our sister agencies, both of my former employers at SBA, which is where I first met you and started working with you, Omar, some years ago at the beginning of my career. There's the Export-Import Bank, or EXIM Bank. So SBA and EXIM really focus on the financing piece of the pie in terms of doing business globally. EXIM, for example, has something called export credit insurance that actually will protect you. Because one of the biggest concerns you all as entrepreneurs, as business owners have is getting paid. How am I going to get paid? And you have that concern here domestically. So imagine just, doing business globally as well, which is even more complex. A big concern is getting paid. Well, EXIM Bank's export credit insurance actually protects you in the event that that foreign buyer doesn't pay you, just as an example. Or if, for example, you need working capital to deliver your service or to provide your product, for example, both EXIM and the SBA has loan guarantee programs. Most people are familiar with SBA lending and government-backed lending, if you will. Well, this is strictly for international business, strictly for export. So there's specific programs available to you to assist you in exporting. Now, for those companies and entrepreneurs that are very early stage, we work with organizations like the EDAC, for example. We work with women's business centers, small business development centers throughout Maryland, throughout the state, that can actually provide you the beginning training, coaching, hand-holding, if you will, to get you ready to take advantage of the services of the U.S. Commercial Service, or the services of EXIM Bank or SBA, for example. I can go on and on and on. I'll pause there and give my co-panelists, if you will, a chance to talk. I don't want to dominate the conversation.
So let me jump in if I could. So Summer and Tatianna. So starting with you, Summer, 2 questions. Are you currently doing business online? Meaning, do you have customers not just here in Maryland, but do you have customers outside of Maryland?
No, my customers are inside of Maryland at this time.
Okay. And then are you a solo entrepreneur or you have employees?
I have employees right now. We are seeking and partnering to get further, get more contracts. So we're working on that, have some stuff in the works, but we have employees.
Okay, good deal. And Tatianna, are you selling your clothing just here in Maryland, or are you across the nation or globally?
Well, I am selling in Maryland as well. I am a solopreneur as well. I did have a website but I'm changing my whole different platform. So that's why it's down right now, but it's actually been up for like a year or two.
Okay.
But we're doing a relaunch. So that's why I said hold off on the website part. But I do business in LA and in New York.
Okay.
Because that's where I make some of my clothing at. But so outside of that, I haven't went outside of those 3 states.
Okay. All right. And the reason I'm asking that, for everybody, especially for you, Mike, now, people say they have they have a website, so they're able to reach customers globally.
Absolutely.
How is that different than actually going into Ghana? I want to be on that trade mission, by the way. Going into Ghana, how is that different than going into Ghana versus selling online? So help us out with that.
Sure. Well, I will say that if you're selling online, if you have the capability to sell your products and services via your website, then you're automatically global,
Right.
because the internet is global. Okay, so people can reach you, and you may get inquiries from all around the globe. So in that respect, you got a website, you're a global company. Now that being said, there are certain things that you kind of have to put in place. And this would be a great point for me to talk about. We do have a service called the website globalization service, where we actually take a look at your website, the inner workings of your website, and help you internationalize that website, if you will. So yes, to your question, Omar, about selling via the website versus selling in person. At a certain point, you do want to, and it depends on what you're selling as well. If you're selling high value items, then at a certain point, you want to actually set up a relationship with a distributor in that country. So let's take Ghana, for example.
Yeah.
So we have services. One of our flagship services called the Gold Key program, where we actually go out and find up to 5 potential partners, distributors, buyers for you, pre-schedule meetings for you with those potential partners in country, and actually facilitate those meetings for you. So we're actually doing the bulk of the work. That's part of our matchmaking service. We're bringing you together with potential buyers. Now, during COVID, we obviously, nobody could travel. So another one of our services became very popular, and it's still in high demand. It's pretty much a virtual Gold Key. So it's called the International Partner Search plus Virtual Introduction. So not unlike we are here via Zoom right now, we would actually, instead of scheduling those meetings with those potential partners in person, in country, we'd actually set those up via Microsoft Teams. So you'll have virtual meetings with those potential partners. Now, the great thing is when you couple that with the trade mission, we call some of our trade missions, we call them like Gold Key on steroids, because we actually facilitate those meetings on the ground during the trade mission for you as well. So you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're actually able to, see the country that you're doing business in, and actually meet face to face with those potential buyers as well. So online, in person, there's a couple of ways to do it, but certainly if you're selling high value services or high value products, you definitely want to have that personal connection.
Absolutely. So yeah, and it's always good to travel and meet the individuals. I often hear from people who are either in the clothing industry, or they have some small products and they want to get multiples of those. So they always, even some of the students here at the campus will come to me and ask me the question, well, do you know about this company in China? Or do you know about this company in Ghana? Do you know about this company in Texas? you know, and, you know, especially overseas, I don't know those type of manufacturers, if you will. And it seemed like what your agency in the Department of Commerce can do is really help individuals, you know, get to that point. And I don't just want to just say products. I'm quite sure services as well.
Services.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Summer, you provide a service. Is that correct?
That is correct. We provide systems engineering services as well as cybersecurity service. It really resonated with me regarding doing things internationally, specifically for cybersecurity. Like I said, I took some notes and I know how to find you now, Michael. So definitely want to connect on that. I did want to mention some things that came to mind when we talked about over the topic, building capacity.
Mm-hmm.
I refer back to my Hutch program where we did the incubator for the small business, and it was a big focus on, you know, having a vision, having your vision, your mission, your plans, your strategies, like for the next 3 to 5 years, so that you can make sure that you did scale and that you had a focus. That was a big thing for me. And right now we're small, but we know that there's a point when the contracts are going to come rolling in, claiming that. So we have to be ready to go. Some things that I did was kind of focus on my strengths, focus on the things that I'm good at and the things that I like to do, and maybe that don't take that much effort, especially since I am one of my employees. I am billable. So I am working not only in the business, but I'm working on the business as well. And I have a family, you know, and I have to add that rest and relaxation so that I'm not burnt out as well. So have to make sure that I have a focus and that I am outsourcing when I can outsource. And so we have several areas that we outsource in, to include like our accounting and finance, our payroll, and tax preparation, etc. And I also outsource. I'm in the 8A program through the SBA. So I outsourced that as well because it was overwhelming to gather all the documentation to really understand the process and how to be successful in that, and actually acquire that or get that program certification. I always say I'm heavy on that's not my ministry, that's not my gift, that's not my strength, and look to, you know, add it to the budget, which things we can, that is feasible for us to outsource. So we try to do that as much as we can, and we let the experts do what they do. And I try to stick with my systems engineering expertise, and also the knowledge that I've gained in being an entrepreneur. So I just wanted to share that with you all.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Omar, can I mention something real quick, specifically to Summer?
Yes.
Summer, definitely reach out to me. I'd like to certainly link you up with my colleague here in my office. So the way we're broken down by industry vertical. And I have a colleague that works with IT, cybersecurity, defense. And I think it will be perfect for you to have a conversation with him because, you know, all day, every day, we're assisting companies to export services. So it's not just products as well. And particularly in the DMV area, you know, many service companies focus on cybersecurity. And, you know, my colleague works with many companies. So, and they all, you know, begin with providing, you typically targeting, you know, federal contracting or maybe state contracts. But this is a great opportunity for you to expand. You know, if you're successfully selling to the federal government, we tell folks all the time, then that means the next logical step, you could be looking at selling your services either to commercial clients overseas or, you know, government clients overseas as well. So definitely let's talk.
Thank you. I definitely want to take you up on that offer. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, we are cut close to our time. Let's give out some contact information. Let's start with you, Michael, if you can give out your contact information.
Sure, real easy. Michael, Michael.Jackson, Jackson at trade.gov. So Michael.Jackson@trade.gov is an email. Email is the best way to reach me. Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to discuss how we can work together and assist you.
All right, good deal. Summer, you want to go next?
Sure. Again, I'm Summer Bazemore. I'm the owner and CEO of Ey3 Technologies. You gotta go with me now. It's ey3.tech, and I have a bit of a complicated last name, but it's S Bazemore. So it's SBAZEMORE at ey3.tech. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Tatianna.
Yes, my name is Tatianna Blackett, and I'm here with Lily Black. You can email us at chat, CHAT, Lily, LILY, Black, BLACK, @gmail.com.
All right, good deal. Well, as always, it's always good to pick up new information to help build capacity. And I think that you all have done that today. So we really appreciate you coming on to the Wave podcast and look forward to hearing some great things about you and your company in the future. And Mike, I know we're going to be working with you over the next couple of events that we have. So thank you for that. So until we meet again, everybody, continue to improve and progress. Peace.